machete. Let's do that. Rather than cutting these little stumps off while they're down after it's cut, I always like, okay? I always like to cut them while the tree's still up. One of my funnest things to do, stop laughing! One of my funnest things to do is to use the machete and to cut these. This is my replacement machete, but this is the original sheath that I had in Honduras. And in Honduras, where I lived 7 years as a missionary, everybody carried a machete. And this was my sheath, but my machete that I got from Honduras broke. So I replaced it with this, and as you can tell, it's too long. I forget what company made it in Honduras, but the way that it was set up, it had a cut in it like this. And they sharpened the top edge and the bottom edge in Honduras. This one doesn't have it. It was called cola de dos gallos. A two-edged rooster tail is basically what that translates to. And that's what they used in Honduras, because in Honduras, they're going through the field and they're cutting that way and cutting back this way and cutting this way and cutting this way. So they had a double-edged machete. But Mike said mine broke, and I was bummed about it because it had a nice little handle. It looked like a pirate's knife or whatever. But what I like to do sometimes, coming out here cutting down trees, go over there. It's just the most fun thing in the world, just walk around and just do that. I don't like pine trees, and I don't like these little limbs, but they're so easy to cut with a machete. And it's just so fun, and the sound, listen to that sound. Ching, chong, ching, click, fuck, you know. It's just fun. And when I do it before, then I don't have to do it over there with the chainsaw, which is more dangerous and harder to do. And these come off so easy with the machete. So I usually go around with my machete and get as many as I can, as high as I can, and I really enjoy doing that. What do you do for fun? For me, it's this. Now sometimes, if I'm feeling real rambunctious, I'll put the machete down and I'll just use my hand. And that's kind of fun too, you know. Reminds me of my days in karate or whatever. But that's just so much fun. And as you can tell, there's plenty of them to do it too. But a lot of times people have problems in this world and everything's horrible. What do you do for fun? What do you do to unwind? Well, I grab my machete, come out in the woods, and here's my problem. No more problem. Oh, another problem comes up. Nah, you're gone, man. And it's just fun. Just fun. And I get up as high as I can. That way I take less of a risk with the saw trying to cut it off. So machetes are fun. Most of the people I knew in the mountains of Honduras had a machete, and they carried a machete. Usually they had it on their belt like this, and they had a file. You always saw them out there sharpening the machete with the file, getting it sharper and sharper. I remember one time I was driving down the road on an old mountain road 4 or 5 hours from nowhere, and I always carried my machete in the car, and this tree about that big around was in the middle of the road. Now, you would probably think, your first thought, uh-oh, somebody did that on purpose because they want to carjack me or beat me up or do something. I didn't think that. I thought, oh, somebody's cutting firewood. So I jumped out and grabbed my machete and I said, hey, can I help you? Oh, luckily it wasn't a thief trying to rob me. It was a guy cutting firewood. He accidentally dropped it in the road. And he saw me with my machete and he goes, please. So we went through a tree that big around with a machete. It took about 5-10 minutes. And we cut that whole huge tree up with a machete. And then I said, okay, I'll be on my way. And he said, well, thank you for helping me cut firewood. So I'm glad that day it wasn't a guy trying to rob me. But you know, sometimes people try to rob you. And I've been there too. I've been robbed in Honduras by gunpoint and things like that. The things you surrender for the Lord when you become a missionary. But it's fun. I guess I learned some stuff in Honduras and I kind of came back with some Honduran ways. And in Honduras, if you're a Honduran, you're called a catracho. Or if you're a woman, you're a catracha. Because there was a president, Zatruch or Zatrach or something like that. And so all the different Central American countries have different names for each other, but Hondurans call themselves catrachos. So yo soy medio catracho. I am part Honduran, I guess, because I try, and because I learned so much from the Honduran people. One of the men that taught me so much was Don Castillo, and I learned so much from Don Castillo. He was such a blessing. He taught me a lot of things. But the thing I learned the most is always keep your machete sharp. Because if it's not sharp and it bounces back and hits you, ouch. You know? A good sharp machete is the best. And this one needs sharpening again actually. But that's what I do for fun. What do? You want to have some fun? Get a machete. Oh wait, as long as you're under 18. I guess I have to say that nowadays, right? Not in Honduras though. In Honduras, you know how many times I saw 5-year-old kids run around with machetes doing what I'm doing? 6-year-old. One time I saw a 4-year-old with a machete swinging it like this. I said, wow, different world, different world. Most Americans would freak out just me doing this, thinking it's crazy. The world is way different in other countries. And this is some of the fun stuff we did in Honduras. So knives are cool and machetes too. And I'll get back to the chainsaw, but for me, this is just fun. These are so easy to take off. You can just literally break them. But you break them, you always leave that little piece. When you use this, it comes off clean. See how clean that is? And it's just fun. It's just fun. Sometimes you have to go a little harder on the higher ones. The smaller ones, you can just drop it because they're ready to be cut. But what fun, what fun. To me, this is one of the most fun things in the world. Cutting these trees with the machete. Hey, you! Die! All right, I guess we'll cut it off there because my phone's almost dead. But I want to be making more videos for Knives Are Cool and Axes too. I've had people send me more knives, and I'm going to get some of those on film soon. I also want to get monetized so I can start buying more knives and then do more videos. I have an axe in mind, a couple other axes. But to me, the all-to go-to tool is the machete because they're just so cool. Zoom in on the machete.